So you're in a rut. You're not a lazy person, but the dishes have piled up, the unwashed clothes lay in your room. You lack the energy to do anything. You're spending more time in bed. I'm willing to bet it wasn't always this way for you. As you're laying there, you might be thinking, what the is wrong with me? Like, why don't I have the energy? Why am I in this rut? We're gonna fix that in this video. We're going over 3 action-based steps to pull you out of your rut. Before we begin, I want to tell you about one of the biggest ruts of my life. I don't normally share this one, but I want you to know that I've been where you are, and these steps actually pulled me out of it. Rewind to my early 20s, I had just gotten my first apartment, 1960 built, probably asbestos-filled Seattle cold grunge apartment. I was post-college, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was fully bought into the grind set, hustle culture. I had some early success, enough to move out of my mom's basement through marketing and YouTube, but it kind of fizzled out. Like, think one-hit wonder. The business numbers went up and then they started going like this. And maybe you can relate, but sometimes the only thing worse than never getting what you want is getting it and then watching it slowly fade away. One day, everything came crashing down. I woke up and I had to film more videos, just so burnt out on it. Sitting there looking at this blank cursor flash on a Pages document, I started getting these weird chest pains. My breathing changed. I started freaking out. It was something I had never felt before. To the point of where I actually picked up the phone and I dialed 911. Fire department comes, rush in, check my vital signs. They finally looked me over and they're like, dude, you're fine. You're having a panic attack from stress. Prideful entrepreneurial me was like, what, panic? Me? Panic attack? No way. This has to be like a heart attack. Like I'm dying here. They left and I was left with the realization that I had to take some time off. And so I forced myself to take 100% month off of work completely. I fell into a textbook cliche rut. I mean, I was laying in my indoor hammock for a month. I was playing Fortnite. I was ordering Uber Eats 2 times a day. Remember thinking if I was gonna get a corporate gig, I might as well enjoy this a bit, huh? I even started updating my LinkedIn profile, being like, dude, I'm just gonna be another one of those failed entrepreneurial statistics that 9 out of 10 businesses, 8 out of 10 businesses fail, and it's so hard. But then, I saw a video from a good friend of mine talking about how he had the best year ever and how everything was up. And he was talking about self-improvement ideas and things that I really was passionate about from day one. And it hit me that maybe I didn't hate what I was doing. I hated how I was doing it. And the problem is that I was causing all this stress and pressure in my mind, and it felt fake and it felt forced because I wasn't being real. I was being fake. I wasn't being authentic. So of course, all the self-doubt and criticism and pressure was there. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I remembered some of the best advice I ever received. Stop looking for the right person and start becoming the right person. That's true in relationships, that's true in business, that's true in life, that's true in any facet you apply that to. And I had asked myself the question 1,000,001 times, what do I want? But I had never asked myself the question, who do I need to become? I realized what you have to realize. To pull yourself out of a rut, a big time rut, you need to become someone different. You need to reinvent yourself. You need to stop asking, what do I want? And you need to start asking, who do I need to show up as? Who do I need to become? And that's when I pulled out the journal and I wrote out everything down to a T, from the dream lifestyle, the relationship I wanted to be in, where I was living, how I would feel on a day-to-day. And as I closed the journal for the first time in months, years, I was excited, I was motivated, I had clarity, I was energized. That journal entry I still have to this day, and that literally is the process we teach people in our Metamorphic program to pull themselves out of ruts, to reinvent themselves. But the other thing I did that I'd recommend you do, never leave the sight of a goal without doing something towards its attainment. Because everybody wants more money, everybody wants more happiness, everybody wants the dream body, but who's actually gonna bridge the gap between where they are and where they need to be to get there? And so when you start taking action, even if it's small, you get the momentum on your side. And so that month, I made big moves, literally. I packed up everything. I bought a one-way ticket to Scottsdale, Arizona. Literally within 30 days, I was out of my apartment. I was in a new one here. And within 18 months of making that big leap from going in that rut, I had 4x my business. I was in a new relationship with an awesome, amazing woman I'm still with to this day. The YouTube channel went from like 100,000 to like 500,000 subscribers. It was everything I wish I had when I was shivering there, watching that blank cursor over the pages document in that Seattle apartment. That's my story and why I'm so passionate about this subject for you, and I know it's possible for you. The point here is literally take out your journal or write in your phone, however you want to do this, record a voice memo, and start creating your dream character. Just like a movie or a game has characters before it unravels, well, they designed them before they built the whole movie around them. Do that for yourself. Focus on who you need to become, that 2.0 version of you. And don't leave until you get really excited about it, until it feels real, until it feels like that version of you is super motivating. And watch how fast that vision starts to influence your actions and you get there. And that, by the way, is literally what we do in the first 14 days of our Metamorphic program, where we design that same process that I did. I show you how to do that for yourself. So if you're interested in that, I'll link down below where you can speak to one of our coaches for free, see if we can genuinely help you where you are. Tony Robbins, the legendary coach, he tells the story of working with a professional athlete who was at the top of their game. They were literally winning championships. They had all these titles, and then a rut happened to them. So she called Tony Robbins and he asked her a ton of questions. When were you at your best? What exactly were you doing? He brought out tape and they watched it and they analyzed it and they said, okay, what was your training like? What was your diet like? What was your mentality like? Walk me through everything you were doing in this championship game that you won. I totally blank on how it ended, but knowing Tony, it was probably like, she won 8 more championships and dominated the competition. The point is using that same strategy for number 2 here to pull yourself out of the ruts. Reconnect to the old you. Take inventory of when you were at your peak. What were you doing? What was your lifestyle like? Sometimes pulling yourself out of a rut isn't necessarily doing something new. It's reconnecting to what you did in the past when you were crushing it. Think back to your college days. A lot of people I've spoken to on the phone, they're like, dude, I just want to get back to the version of me I was like in my college days when I could take on the world. Well, literally analyze your old self. What was your mindset like? What were your beliefs like? What was your lifestyle like? What were you consuming mentally, educationally? For me, YouTube videos. Sometimes I'll go back and watch the raw footage of videos that performed really well. And I'll analyze myself when I feel in ruts creatively. I'll be like, what was I doing there? What books was I reading? And I'll go back and read some of those same books and it amps me up. That's professionally, but what if you're in a personal rut? You know, where you just wake up and it's just kind of like, you know, everything externally is fine, but internally I just not feeling it. I'm willing to bet that you've stopped doing a lot of things that made you you. Like literally just think back to some of the hobbies you used to have. Are you doing any of those right now? Or are you too busy? Or does it feel like nothing's gonna come out of that? You know, sometimes it's okay to just have hobbies and interests, not because you're trying to be the best at them, not because you're trying to make a business out of them or monetize them or be an influencer with them, but just because it's fun to do. Did you skateboard back in the day? What bands did you listen to? Maybe it's music, maybe it's a specific type of art, maybe it's 2000s comedies that light you up that you were obsessed with. For me, this is drumming. I toured professionally, and now that it's kind of the off season, I forget to do it. I'm fine for like a week or 2 without it, but then I notice like a part of my soul starts to wither away if I'm not drumming and playing music and connecting to that part of me that's been doing it since I was 11, 12 years old. Literally just sit down and list out, what did I used to do that interests me? Okay, what if I tried doing that today? Force yourself to do it because you loved it at one point, so I'm willing to bet it'll light you up again. Sometimes pulling yourself out of a rut isn't something new. It's about reconnecting to something old. But there's one final piece to pull yourself out of this rut, and it's something you can even use tonight. Let me set this up for you. One of my favorite psychologists, Daniel Gilbert, taught at Harvard, has written many books, published lots of research. He has this really cool study I want to tell you about. He essentially went to a university campus and he found students and he's like, congratulations, you won a free dinner. They're like, me? Really? Oh, it's my lucky day. I never win anything. Great. When do you want the dinner? How about in 3 days from now? Okay, 3 days from now. Thank you. Hey, you want a dinner. When do you want it? A week from now. Okay, a week from now, all right. What he found is that people would purposely delay the thing they want, which doesn't make sense from a hedonic standpoint. Like if we're all instant gratification machines and you win something, shouldn't you want the reward as soon as possible, like tonight? People actually prefer delaying the pleasure of that dinner a little bit because they got something to look forward to. And that it's that anticipation of something coming down the road is actual real pleasure as much as experiencing the thing when it happens. In other words, you get dopamine not just when you get something cool, you do something cool, you have a good experience, but when you look forward to it. So this step number 3 is plan cool shit. There's 3 levels to this. There's the macro level where you're looking forward to something really big. Like maybe this is planning a huge trip you've always wanted to go on. And even if it's 6 to 12 months out and you're saving up for it along the way, every single day you work, you're building towards something. And that is immensely pleasurable because you're looking forward to it. I worked some pretty bad jobs in my 20s. And I had this round the world trip that I was going on to Southeast Asia. And I remember the day I decided that I was gonna save up like $2,000-3,000 for the whole thing. All those crappy jobs got a lot easier because I was now building towards something. It wasn't just going through the motions of like, all right, what am I even doing anymore? The medium level. Maybe this is as simple as calling your friends or family or people you know and saying, hey, you know, I know this is a little formal, but I really enjoy when we go out and go to brunch, go to dinner. Is it cool with you if we just do that every single month and like put it on the calendar? Plan monthly golf, plan monthly hikes, plan monthly dinners, whatever it is, having something on the schedule you can look forward to. And on the micro level, this can be as simple as like your favorite show that comes on every single Friday. I remember growing up when it was like scheduled TV, I would get really excited building up to Fridays when the show Lost came on. And don't get caught up in the examples I'm giving you. I recommend that you come up with your own. Imagine if you just had a schedule where every day you looked forward to something or you had something that you genuinely liked doing. Wouldn't you feel more excited? Wouldn't it at least be worth a shot? Wouldn't you at least be 10% more amped? And that'll compound, and in 21 days you'll feel a lot different. And I know that might sound simple, like what, just plan something to get, well duh. Actually do it and watch how much these little wins stack up. It compounds and eventually you might find yourself out of that rut in no time. So yes, the rut you're in might be real, but if you reinvent yourself, you reconnect to the old you, and you plan cool shit to do, watch how fast you can start to pull yourself out of it. If you want our help, this is literally our bread and butter, reinventing yourself in 10 weeks. I'll link down below where you can speak to one of our coaches for free, see if we can genuinely help you do it faster. Perfect follow-up to this video is our guide on shifting your identity. This is how you can recreate that 2.0 you. I'll link up right here. Watch it. It's a perfect follow-up for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one. Stop settling, start living. See ya.